Good morning, students. Myself, Professor Ganesh Ria. I am working in Computer Science Department of Cambridge Institute of Technology. Today's class is about 8th semester UID, User Interface Design. So today we will be discussing about Module 5, Screen-Based Controls. So what is screen-based controls? What are the different types of controls we will be seeing in this slide? Screen-based controls are sometimes called as widgets, so which helps us to do many activities. What are the different types of controls? We have operable controls, so that is operational controls. We have selection controls. We have presentation controls, right? So now what is a control mean? See, a control may have permit. It helps us to entry or select a value. The control helps us for changing or editing a value. A control will help us to display a piece of text, value or graphic. So now control, by using control, what we can do is this, right? We can entry to anything, we can select any value, we can change, we can edit, we can display, right? And we can tell something to be performed, right? We can tell something to pop up also, that is possess a contextual pop-up window. So screen-based controls are called as widgets, which helps us to do so many activities. So what are that activities? It helps us to permit the entry, selection of value, editing of value, changing or doing some other editing works. It displays also any value, whichever the user wants it to be displayed. Any action can be performed, any command can be performed. It possesses a contextual pop-up window also. Whatever you want, you can pop up also. The first kind of control is operable controls. So it is called as operational controls. Whereas second one is selection controls and third one is presentation controls. The first one is operational controls. Means what? See, these are the controls which helps us to entry or select or change any particular value. How we are doing it, we will see that later. What is this? What kind of control is this? It is a kind of control which helps the user to entry, select some particular value or do some editing of some particular value. Now, what are the things which the operable controls include? It includes buttons, that is text entry or read-only buttons, selection buttons, combination or entry selection controls, or some other specialized controls. So we will see one by one all different types of operable controls. The first one is button control. So what is this buttons? See, it is a square or rectangular shape control with a label inside that indicates action to be accomplished. So we have seen it is a rectangular shaped button which contains a label or description of that particular task, which is inside that one. So now, what are all the things the label can consist of, that description can consist of? It consists of text or graphics or both. So what is the use of this kind of operable button control? The first one is it start actions. So to do the perform any operation, it has to start. So the first purpose is to start any action, to change editing options, and to display any particular value. That is a display a menu by using pop-up menu. Then the advantages of this, it is always visible. It tells the user what is the choice he has selected. It is very convenient for the user because the button will have the label. It might be a graphics or a text which helps the user to see what is there in that. Then it can be logically organized into work area. It can provide meaningful descriptions. Large size generally provide faster selection target. If it is more big or the size is little big than the normal ones, it will attract the user perspective view. It can possess 3D appearance also, so it can have 2D view and 3D view also. It may permit use of keyboard equivalents or accelerators. So it is faster than using a two-step menu, right? So instead of having a pop-up menu or a pull-down menu, right, where we can have this, we can use this button control and avoid those usage. What are the disadvantages of these buttons, right? Buttons may consume more screen space. It limits the number of items to be displayed. So in the label, we can display one. It requires looking away from main working area to activate. So now, when you're working, example I'm giving, when you're working in Microsoft Word, right? So now we have to do some changes, right? You have to cut something. Then you have to go to file and do some operation there. Or there will be one button called as Control C on the top. You have to click on that Control C. So you are moving away from the main working area. And one more disadvantage is that you have to point to that particular button to select that one, right? So these are the advantages and disadvantages of buttons. So what are the styles, how it comes, right? So we will see directly the figure. The first style is command buttons. The second one is toolbars, buttons without labels. And the last one is symbol button. The first one is command buttons. The first control commonly found on electrical or mechanical devices, and it is called as push button. So push button, right? So now your switches on or off. So it is okay, cancel, help. These are all push buttons. The second style is a square or rectangular in shape with an icon or graphic inside. It may have an associated label. These buttons may appear singly or be placed in groups, commonly called button bars or toolbars as shown in figure 2. So you can see some symbol will be there, whether to play the video, stop the video, save the video, right? You can see so many types are there. So that is the second type. The third style is the square or rectangular in shape with a symbol inscribed inside. The symbol one learned identifies the button and action. The symbol, if you understand the symbol, you will know what is the work of that. So minus symbol, it is for subtraction. If you have addition, it is addition symbol. So that is the three different styles of button controls, right? Then the next button is command buttons. What is this command buttons? So where do we use these command buttons? So for Windows with a menu bar, it is used to provide fast access to frequently used or critical commands. For Windows without a menu bar, we used to provide access all necessary commands. So command buttons is somewhere we use the buttons, right? Where we use it for fast access there. The structure is, the shape of the button may vary. It is generally rectangular shape always, right? Because it fixed to the captions there. Labels. Now, when we talk about button labels, it should be clearly given the meaning of that particular button there. Example you can see now, OK. OK means what? It is clearly understood for everybody that when you accept, that means you are accepting something which is given there. Whatever the rules and regulations you say, I agree with that rules and regulations. Then if you say OK, it means that you agree with that rules and regulation. Cancel, reset, apply, close, help. All these things are standard definitions and you have to use appropriately. Then size. It provides as large as button is feasible. It maintains consistent button heights and width. So now the height should be properly specified. The spacing should be properly done. Without proper spacing, it is very difficult for the user to understand what is the kind of button. And it should not be mixed also. There should be some spaces there, right? Buttons containing exclusive long labels may be wider. So depending on the labels, the button may be wider there. So location and layout of the control buttons is also very important. It should be positioned in consistent within a window. It should be depending on the type of button. The location of the button is depending on the type of the button, right? Whether it is closing the window, positioning the window, whether it's center, left, everywhere, it depends on the purpose of what you are using. So now, what if you have a contingent relationship? Means if you have something, once you select one control, there is one more control to be selected. So what you have to do there is, you have to use appropriately, or next to next, you have to use the contiguous control. If a button possesses a contingent relationship to a group of controls, if there are more than 2 or 3, the flow is very important, right? It is something like you select one item from first menu, it has link to second menu, then second to third. So everything there is a link. So there should be a proper order in flow. If there is no proper logical order, it will be very difficult for the user to understand where he is going. The path may go wrong. So now we have indicators called as intent indicators, and the purpose of intent indicators is, it is the label only specify what is the purpose of that, right? So when a button causes an action to be immediately performed, So you need some actions to be immediately performed, right? There you have to use apply button. When a button leads to a cascading dialog box, you have to use open button there. When a button leads to a menu, you have to use menu. When a button leads to an expanding dialog, we have to use more options. There we have to use double arrows, that is double greater sign symbol, right? You can see single in opening, we have dots there. If it is opening, more options are there. If it is more options are there, it should be two arrows. If it is single option, menu option, it should be one arrow there. Then, when a button has a contingent relationship to other control that must be indicated, indicate a single arrow pointing at the control. So which tells you the path in which it is moving. So it tells you the forward and backward path there. Then expansion button. When a button that expands a dialog is activated and the dialog is expanded, display the button dimmed or grey out. So there should be some differentiation between the buttons which is selected and which is not selected, means which is expanded or which is not expanded, on push button or without push, right? So it should be color differentiation has to be given there, right? So whatever you do, default action should be within the window, right? So if you have something, option should be provided. Default option should be provided. If the user is not selecting the appropriate ones, the default options has to be given, right? It might be cancel or delayed. So we know the concept called as keyboard equivalents and accelerators, right? So keyboard equivalents means it is something called as a mnemonics. For every keyboard equivalent, we have a mnemonic there, right? So it should be the first character of the buttons label. It is something like we remember in olden days we were keeping phone. For example, number one, we were storing one phone number with that, right? Something like that we were keeping mnemonics, which helps us to understand what is there in that, right? Accelerators is keyboard accelerators where we have control C, control V. All these things are accelerators. So now, what is the difference between button pointing and button activation? There should be some difference between activation and pointing also. So now once the cursor is placed on that, it means it is pointing. Once it is clicked on that or pressed it, then it is called as activation. So now whether it is highlighting or it is selecting, there should be some difference between them. Then the next kind of control are toolbars. It is also called as button bars, control bars, or access bars. So what is this? It is a compilation of commands, actions, or functions, usually graphically in structure, but sometimes textual grouped together for speedy access. So now, where do you use this? Wherever we require fast access to be done, we are using this. Wherever we want toolbar, functions must be obtainable by using textual means, we are using this. Structure, it creates a meaningful graphic icons and images. For text buttons, create toolbar button and equal size, following the size guidelines recently described. Now, the size depends on the purpose of what we are using. Larger buttons may be used for larger resolutions, right? Now, what kind of organization or what kind of environment we are used? It has to be according to that. The location of that particular bars, that is toolbars, it should be function bar horizontally across top of the window. You can see there will be a task bars it's either at the top of the window or below the window, right? It permits the location of the bar to be changed by user also. Display of the bar to be turned off or on. So next, keyboard equivalents and accelerators we have already discussed, right? Now, what is the next kind of control? Text entry or read-only control. So we can see there are two controls here. One is a control where it gives you an option for a text entry. The other one is it gives you an option only for readable information. So first one, a rectangular box where which information is typed, means it is editable one. The second one is also rectangular where we use only for readable information, right? So now, single line and multiple line or multi-line text boxes. Where you want single line information, you can use single line text boxes. You need multiple line of information to be explained or given, or where the multiple lines of the user requires to type multiple lines, you can give that one. So now the first one you can see, the first one is an example for text entry, where the user can enter the information called as information. The next one is only read-only information, right? Display or read-only, where you can read the type, the text given there, that is information. So single fields you can see where it has single lines, multiple lines, or multiple information. For display read-only, more information, more values will be displayed. Now, while we talk about display, how, if the length is small, how we should display? If that length is small, how we should display? If the length is alphanumeric length, means what we should do? If the length is only numeric, what we should do? There are some conditions which we have to follow. While it is alphanumeric, what we have to do? We have to make it left justified. When it is numeric, we have to make it right justified. These are the conditions, as in the figure you can see. For alphanumeric, that is the wordings, you can see left alignment is done, left justification for numbers, right justification is done. Then, now, when you are giving a read only, that's no problem, because it is only information to be read. But when there is a write, right, when there is a text to be entered in the location, right, and the text is more, right, then we should give some breakup between the boxes by using slashes or break or dashes, because it will help us to understand the long values, right? So that tells you how many values we can give there. So this class we have completed operational controls. So thank you all students. Next class we will be discussing about the operational selection controls. Thank you all.